A society that breathes, the fractal universe. We live in a world made of many parts, each one a universe unto itself, yet connected to everything else. Your body is a community of cells, and each cell is a world of its own. A forest is a community of trees, and each tree is a world of its own. This pattern, where the small reflects the large, is sometimes called a fractal. It is a beautiful idea. It suggests that the patterns of life repeat at every scale. If we understand the health of a single cell, we can better understand the health of a whole body. If we understand the health of a person, we can better understand the health of a community. This simple, profound truth can be a guide for building a better world, a world that reflects the elegant wisdom of nature itself. Imagine a society that breathes. It is a simple image, but a powerful one. With every inhale, security care, nourishment the space to learn and rest. This is the great inhale of universal support. With every exhale, the people give back what they can. Their unique gifts, their creativity, their labor, and their compassion to the whole. This is the great exhale of contribution. When the breath is steady, gentle and deep, the body is healthy and full of life. A society with a steady, collective breath would be a healthy society, a place of balance and vitality. Today, our society's breath is shallow and erratic. For so many, the inhale is a frantic gasp for air. People work tirelessly not out of joy, but out of a deep-seated fear of not having enough. The exhale, in turn, is often forced and strained. Many jobs do not nourish the soul or the community. They deplete them. Power and resources have pooled at the very top, like air trapped in one part of the lung, leaving the rest to struggle. This imbalance creates a world of constant anxiety, a world where our connection to each other and to nature feels fragile and broken. But we do not have to live this way. We have the capacity to build something better. The idea we will explore is called a social value economy. It is a system designed to restore the natural, healthy rhythm of societal breathing. In this economy, value is not defined solely by money, but by contribution to the well-being of all. Value is found in the act of teaching a child, caring for an elder, restoring a forest, or creating art that touches the heart. It is a system built on 4 interconnected pillars, each designed to support and regulate the social breath. It is a shift from an economy of extraction and competition to an economy of circulation and co-creation. It is a return to a more human way of being. The 4 pillars of social value, a new foundation. To build a new kind of economy, we need a new foundation. The old foundation, built on scarcity, competition, endless growth, has led us to a place of crisis. The social value economy rests on a different foundation, one made of 4 strong pillars that work together in harmony. These pillars are not rigid rules, but living principles. They create a feedback loop that nourishes both the individual and the collective. They are universal basic services, social contribution credit, quadruple bottom line, decentralized data ownership. Together, they create the conditions for a society that can finally take a full, deep breath, restoring flow and trust to our shared life. The first pillar, universal basic services, is the great societal inhale. It ensures that every single person has their fundamental needs met. This means guaranteed access to housing, healthcare, nutritious food, clean water, internet connectivity, foundational education. When these core needs are secured, the gnawing fear of survival begins to fade. People are no longer forced to take any job, no matter how soul-crushing, just to pay the rent or feed their families. UBS acts like the lungs of society, drawing in the essential oxygen of security and distributing it to every cell, every person. The second pillar, social contribution credit, is the exhale. It is a new way to see and honor the work that truly matters. SCC is a system for recognizing and rewarding contributions that benefit people, nature, culture. This includes work our current economy often ignores or devalues, caring for the young and the old, mentoring, restoring ecosystems, creating public art, facilitating community dialogue. SCC is not a currency to be hoarded. It is a public record of one's service to the whole. Earning SCC can lead to greater social trust opportunities to lead community projects, access to advanced learning, creating a form of wealth based on reputation and contribution, not accumulation. If UBS is the inhale, then SCC is the exhale. Imagine a simple, transparent digital ledger accessible to the community. Ecology, care, education. When you clean a river, teach coding, or offer emotional support, your contribution is logged and validated by your peers. SCC is not a replacement for money. You cannot use it to buy a car. You cannot use it to buy a television. Instead, it functions as social currency. Reputation. It measures wealth in trust, not in dollars. What then is the value of SCC? A high SCC score can grant privileges rooted in trust and responsibility. Stronger voice in community governance. Help decide public resource allocation. Access to specialized training programs. Travel grants for learning. Opportunity to lead a significant community project. It gives influence and opportunity to those committed to the common good, not just those with financial capital. It shifts status from what I have to what I give. This system motivates people in a fundamentally different way. The drive to accumulate endless wealth is replaced by the desire to be a valued, respected community member. It taps into our need for purpose. It taps into our need for belonging. It taps into our need for recognition. Instead of asking what job makes the most money, people will ask where their gifts are of greatest service. SCC provides the framework to answer that. For the social breath to be truly healthy, the organizations within that society must also be aligned with its values. The quadruple bottom line provides this alignment. It is a framework that redefines what it means for a project or business to be successful. For centuries, success has been measured by a single metric: profit. The quadruple bottom line expands this view dramatically. It requires every organization to measure and report on its performance across 4 key areas: people, planet, purpose, profit. This creates a holistic and accountable system where businesses serve life rather than just serving their own bottom line. The first 2 lines, people and planet, are straightforward. Is the organization treating its employees, customers, and community with fairness and respect? Is it enhancing human well-being? At the same time, what is its ecological footprint? Is it regenerating the natural world or depleting it? The third line, purpose, asks a deeper question. Beyond making money, why does this organization exist? What is its unique contribution to the culture and to human flourishing? Profit remains the fourth line, acknowledging that financial sustainability is necessary, but it is placed in its proper context, as one of 4 equally important measures of success. To fuel this new economy and ensure its fairness, we must also fundamentally change our relationship with data. Today, our personal and collective data is a resource more valuable than oil, yet we give it away for free to a handful of corporations who use it for their own profit. Decentralized data ownership flips this model on its head. It establishes the principle that you own your data. It encourages the formation of data cooperatives. It encourages the formation of data trusts. These democratic bodies manage our collective data as a commons, a shared resource for the benefit of all. These data cooperatives can then license access to anonymized data sets to researchers, ethical businesses, public planners. The revenue generated from this licensing becomes a major funding stream for universal basic services. Imagine a city where traffic data, energy usage data, public health data are all managed by a citizen-led cooperative. Insights improve transport and neighborhoods, while revenue helps pay for housing and healthcare. Rethinking time and power, chronoception, and the 4D shadow. A social value economy doesn't just change our relationship with money and work, it changes our relationship with time and power. We currently live under the tyranny of the clock. Time is money. Our days are chopped into rigid, billable hours. This industrial-era mindset forces creativity and natural rhythms into a linear box. An alternative concept is chronoception, perceiving time as cyclical and rhythmic. Life unfolds in waves of activity and rest, focus and diffusion, learning and play. A healthy society honors these rhythms. Freed from selling hours to survive, People can live and work with their own cadence. A writer might work intensely for 5 hours, then spend the rest of the day walking in the woods. A team of designers might work in focused sprints for 3 weeks, then take a full week off to recharge. Schools could shift from rigid bells to project-based learning cycles. This approach isn't lazy, it's profoundly effective. True productivity and creativity cannot be forced. They emerge from a state of well-being. As time becomes more fluid, so does power. Current systems create rigid hierarchies, power held at the top for long periods. The 4D shadow offers a different model. Leadership should be dynamic, temporary, context-dependent. The shadow is temporary authority given to whoever is best suited for the task. Power is responsibility, not ownership. Example: community wetland. An ecologist leads the design phase. Then an engineer leads construction, and a skilled organizer leads volunteer coordination. Power flows to where the wisdom is. This flattens power, prevents entrenched elites, and keeps the system agile and meritocratic. The leader should be the person who best serves the project's purpose, not the best political player. From theory to practice, seeding the first pilots. Grand ideas for a better world can feel distant and overwhelming. The beauty of the social value economy is that it does not require a massive top-down revolution. It can begin small, with practical, local experiments. The path forward is not to convince everyone at once, but to demonstrate the model in action through tangible pilot projects. These pilots can serve as living laboratories, allowing us to learn, adapt, and refine ideas in the real world. Imagine a small town of a few thousand people deciding to become a testbed for this new system. This is where the change becomes real. A town pilot could begin by establishing local pillars: community land trust, local farms, community-supported agriculture program that guarantees food, a local clinic focused on holistic preventative care. These steps build a foundation of security. Simultaneously, launch a simple digital social value ledger app. Let residents log and validate contributions like mentoring students, maintaining public parks, organizing cultural events. The digital layer is a crucial enabler, but it must serve the people. A lightweight open-source app makes recording mutual aid easy. Sarah helped me fix my leaky faucet, one person might log. Omar organized a cleanup of the town square, another might post. The community would set clear democratic guidelines for validation to ensure fairness and prevent gaming the system. This digital tool amplifies human trust. It makes the web of reciprocity visible and celebrated. Alongside these initiatives, the town could form a data cooperative. The cooperative manages local data like traffic patterns and energy consumption, licensing to government or startups with revenue flowing into the town's basic services fund. A cultural renaissance, from scarcity to resonance. The changes proposed by a social value economy are not just structural, they are deeply cultural. A system built on universal basic services and social contribution credit would slowly but surely transform our collective psychology. The deep-seated fear of scarcity would begin to dissipate. When people feel fundamentally safe and secure, their motivations change. The desperate drive for survival is replaced by a more expansive yearning for purpose, connection, expression, resonance, the feeling of being in right relationship with oneself, others, and the world. This shift in motivation would ripple through every aspect of life. People would choose their work not based on salary alone, but on what truly calls to them. Someone with a gift for healing might become a full-time caregiver. Someone with a love for nature might dedicate their life to ecosystem restoration. The arts would flourish. The sciences would flourish. The motivation to contribute would come not from external pressure, but from an internal desire to share one's gifts. Education would be one of the first areas to transform. The current model would become obsolete. Schools would become places of holistic development, focusing as much on emotional intelligence, empathy, systems thinking as on traditional academic subjects. Learning would be project-based and experiential. Children would learn biology by restoring a stream, civics by participating in governance, engineering by building tools to solve real-world problems. The goal of education would shift from preparing students to compete, to empowering them to become wise, compassionate, creative citizens. Over time, this cultural renaissance would mend our tattered social fabric. As the focus shifts from individual accumulation to collective well-being, our sense of connection would deepen. The hyper-individualism that isolates us would give way to a renewed sense of community. We would learn to see the world as a living system of which we are all a part. This is not a utopian fantasy. It is the natural human state that emerges when the artificial pressures of a scarcity-based economy are lifted. A call to experiment the first breath of a new world. In the end, the social value economy is a simple idea dressed in many details. It is a return to a wisdom we already know in our bones that a society, like a body, thrives when its parts are cared for and work in harmony. It is the idea that we can build systems that mirror the elegance and resilience of life itself. We can design an economy that allows society to breathe a deep, collective inhale of security, a joyful, collective exhale of contribution. We can free people from the grip of fear, honor the work that truly heals, honor the work that truly connects, honor the work that truly creates. We can use our incredible new tools, AI, distributed ledgers, to serve life, not to control it. This vision does not ask for blind faith or a violent overthrow of the old. It asks for a willingness to experiment. The path forward is paved with small, deliberate steps. It begins when a single neighborhood decides to try a digital SCC app to track mutual aid. It starts when a school creates a data cooperative to manage its information ethically. It takes root when a small group of local businesses voluntarily pledges to adopt the quadruple bottom line. These small, localized pilots are the seeds from which a new world can grow. They are our learning ground, teaching us what works and what needs rethinking. Imagine a future where these seeds have taken root and begun to connect. A world where towns and cities breathe together in a global network of trust and reciprocity. A breathing society is within our reach. A world where people feel safe enough to dedicate their lives to their passions, knowing their basic needs will always be met. A world where work is a source of meaning, not stress, and power is a fluid responsibility, not a fixed prize. A world where the health of our forests and rivers is valued as much as the numbers in a bank account. This world is not only possible, it is calling to us. It is a future built on the simple, practical act of caring for one another. A breathing society is within our reach. It starts with courage, with clear principles, with the humility to try to learn and to adapt. It begins with the very next choice we make.